Good Wednesday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. Are you ready for some big temperature changes? Well, it's coming. We had a cold front that moved through our area earlier today. Excuse me, that just shifted our winds out of the northwest. It's still taking a little while for that colder air to move into our area. You're really going to feel it more tomorrow when the winds shift coming out of the northeast, and that's going to reinforce some of that cooler air pushing in. So today, it felt more like summertime with temperatures that got up to 88 degrees here this afternoon. Yeah, that was 2 degrees away from the record for today's date. Our record for today's date was 90 degrees. So that was close to a record today, but it is going to be much different tomorrow. We're going to go from 88 that we had today to 73 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow. That is going to be 15 degrees lower tomorrow afternoon than we were on Wednesday afternoon. And that's thanks to the cold front and then that northeasterly wind that's going to be kicking in here. Now, even though we had this front come through, it's not like a sharp clearing line or anything, or really a sharp cold area. This front is just the leading edge of some of the cooler air that's going to be reinforced during the day tomorrow. And with that northeast flow tomorrow, we're still going to see some clouds that'll be mixing in with the sunshine at times. So it's not like one of those crisp fall fronts that comes in and clears out the air and we'll have a crystal clear blue sky tomorrow. We're still going to be dealing with some clouds thanks to that northeast flow that's going to be pushing in here during the day. So just know we're going to be feeling cooler out there for the next couple of days, especially Thursday and Friday. The mornings into the weekend are also still going to be rather cool in the 50s, but the afternoons are going to gradually start warming up just a little bit. So just be prepared. Not only is it going to be cooler, but it's also going to be rather breezy. That northeast flow that I was just talking about will be setting up. We're talking about some winds around 20 miles an hour at times. So just be aware of that tomorrow. Again, reinforcing that cooler air. So trading in the summer clothing that you had on today when we were 2 degrees away from 90, trade that in for more fall-like clothing for not only tomorrow, but also the next few days, especially those morning hours when we see those temperatures that are going to be generally there in the 50s for a nice, crisp, refreshing start to the days. Now, in the morning here, it's still going to be in the 60s, right around 63 degrees, still because we may have a few of those clouds around. Now, here's what we're watching. No rain. We don't really have many clouds here in our area right now. That system that came through did bring a little bit of rain early this morning in spots. Not everybody got some. Let me see here. Let me go back on this graphic, on this loop here. Let me go back on that for a few hours so we can see that rain that was coming through this morning. Here we go. I'm going to put this back, and it may take a second to kind of build all of this, but I'm going to go back 18 hours. And let me zoom out a little bit more so you guys can see. So this is what we're having during those overnight hours here. Okay, that was the loop that went back to overnight last night. Okay, watch the time frame here. There we are right now at 9:03. Then it goes to 3 in the morning. All right. So this is what we were watching last night. If you were watching us at 9 o'clock last night or at 11 o'clock last night, we were watching those showers that were in parts of northwest Georgia, some of those moving in. And we were explaining how, as a lot of this got into the metro area, it was going to be falling apart. Now, Hartsfield-Jackson didn't pick up any rain today at all. So 0.00 is the official amount of rain that we got for Atlanta today at Hartsfield. But you can see we did have a few light showers on the north side. Some of that moved through Gwinnett County. My wife and I are in Gwinnett County. Even though when we woke up this morning, the rain was already gone, but we had wet roads and the wet pavement and stuff around our house. So it was just very light that came through. So just consider yourself lucky if you got any of those showers last night. So again, that was all part of that system that moved through our area, and it then did continue to push on down to the south. Now the front is well down to the south of us, and you can see some of these showers and even some storms that have been firing up here in parts of southeast Georgia, getting closer to Savannah right now, pretty much getting right there at 95 along 16 at Highway 95 or Interstate 95. And then these extend on back over to the west there. We'll zoom in tighter so we can see some of these areas near Hazelhurst. Glenville, around Glenville, that's where we have a little bit of lightning between Glenville and Baxley there. And that's going to keep moving on down toward Hinesville and eventually into the Savannah area as it keeps moving on away. And again, you can kind of see here that all that moves on out of here. And there's the front where we have that rain now and that northwesterly flow, excuse me, behind that is drying us out a little bit more. And then what's going to happen tomorrow is all of this pushes to the south, then we'll have a northeasterly flow coming in here, again reinforcing some of that cooler air that we have in place and also helping to give us a few more clouds that'll be pushing through our area as well. Here is a closer look now at our tower cam. This is just to the east of us in DeKalb County at Arizona Avenue. And you can see it looks great. We have a beautiful skyline there over the city of Atlanta, looking westward toward the city. And again, mainly clear skies here in our area that we're watching. And here's a closer view of the city. This is from our camera at Georgia Tech, looking over Grant Field here, Bobby Dodd Stadium, looking more down to the south and east. Again, another close-up view of the skyline where we do have mainly clear skies. Great visibility and a nice night. Northwest Georgia, also looking really nice. This is our tower cam there in Rome, where the flags are blowing just a little bit. Now, they're going to be blowing a lot more tomorrow once this easterly and northeasterly flow sets up, and it is going to be rather breezy out there during the day. Now, this is what I want to show you with that official high today of 88 degrees. The record is 90. That was set in 1941. So we were 2 degrees away from that record. Now, the average high for this time of year is 77. So we were 11 degrees above average today. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be back to below average as that cooler air comes in here. This morning was mild at 71 degrees. We should be at 58 this time of year. We're going back to those 50s, though, over the next few days. Tomorrow morning in the 60s, and then after that, we're going to be in the 50s for the end of the week and also into the weekend, too. So here's how those temperatures kind of timed out today. That low this morning of 71 there between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning. It bumped up to 72 at 7. But then look through the day. Now, I know you don't see 88 degrees here on the hourlies, but it was between 4 and 5 o'clock where we actually spiked up to 88 and then went back to 86 at 5 o'clock. So it was hot out there today. You know, that's more of a typical summertime average here for the city of Atlanta. Right now, temperatures are coming down a little bit more, 78 degrees. You know, it's not cold or anything, but just a little bit milder out there. 75 in Marietta, 71 in Canton. LaGrange right now still close to 80 at 79 degrees. More lower 70s on the east side, Covington, Athens, and Eatonton at 72. Canton 71, Dalton 70 degrees, so a lot of 70s around, but some 60s in spots too. We start off in the morning right there at 63 degrees. We'll have a few clouds in the morning. It's not going to be crystal clear. 65 at 9, 67 at 11, and then around lunchtime or after is when we're going to get up to 70 degrees. So remember, this morning we started off at 71. Tomorrow, we're not even going to be into the lower 70s until at lunchtime or a little bit after. So it's going to be slow to warm during the day. Then we get up to only, we think, 73 degrees in the afternoon. But just notice there will be a few more clouds mixing in with the sunshine. We are going with just a 20% chance for an isolated shower. Whenever you have that northeast flow building in and some of those clouds, a little bit of Atlantic moisture pushing in, we just always have to be aware of that low risk for an isolated shower that could pop up. If it did, it would be really light, nothing really major coming in at all. So look at these arrows right now coming out of the north. That's behind the front. That's where we've got the drier air that's starting to filter in. That moisture is all down to the south of us, and that's going to continue to move away. Then look how tomorrow, look at the arrows now, coming out of the north and east, and that sets up somewhat of a wedge tomorrow that will pick up a little bit of that Atlantic moisture. Watch how it spreads some of the clouds in here, and you see just a little bit of green showing up on the map here and there. That's why we're keeping a 20% chance for an isolated shower in our area. Into the afternoon, we may see a few more breaks in the clouds tomorrow with some sunshine breaking through at times, and then that's going to clear out during the evening hours. Friday morning, we start off mainly sunny. It is going to be cool and crisp out there with temperatures in the 50s to start the morning. It's going to be feeling really good there. And then sunshine at noon. Also watching a little bit more of this moisture, maybe in the form of a few clouds coming in late in the afternoon on Friday. But again, that still is not going to give us any rain here. So going to a high school football game on Friday night, it's going to be back to cool weather, feeling pretty good out there. And then Saturday morning, another cool start with temperatures that are going to be in the 50s again. In the afternoon, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Now, I want you to notice here, those clouds are trying to build in from the east a little bit more. I'm going to walk out and see if I can zoom in a little bit here, or zoom out a little bit to kind of explain to you what we're watching here to the east of us, all right? Look at that. So this is Saturday afternoon. Now, I know you're looking at that thinking, whoa, is this a tropical system or something? No, it's not. It's an area of low pressure, though, that is developing that is most likely going to become a nor'easter. It's not going to be tropical in nature, so it's not going to get a name or anything, but it is still going to have some of the impacts that a tropical storm or a weaker tropical system would have there. And it's going to be spreading a lot of rain along the eastern coastline. And you can kind of see that area of low pressure that's going to be developing well off the Georgia coast. And it's going to move up pretty much along the coast and up to the north and become a nor'easter as it moves up there. So it's going to be spreading a lot of rain in along the South Carolina coast and the North Carolina coast. They're going to have rough surf. They are going to have wind. But again, it's not going to be a tropical system moving in. So that is why, and I know these names are all jumbled together here since I zoomed out, but that's why when I was zoomed in closer to northeast Georgia, we're seeing these clouds that are a little bit thicker here over to the east, just because of all that wraparound here from that system that really isn't going to have an impact on us here in the metro area. See how that on Saturday keeps moving up toward the north and also to the east? Now, speaking of the tropics, we do have a tropical system that we're watching. This is Tropical Storm Jerry. It's getting a little bit stronger. Winds right now are at 65 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 21 miles an hour. You can see the convection here with it, getting a little better organized. It could become a hurricane late tonight, overnight, or early tomorrow. We still have these tropical storm watches in effect for much of the northern Leeward Islands. Multiple islands are included there in that tropical storm watch. Here is what we're watching, though, with the forecast track. Most likely Thursday night, overnight into Friday morning is the closest that this system will come to the northern Leeward Islands. It's just going to kind of be near them, maybe spreading some tropical storm force winds there, but not a direct hit on the islands. Maybe just under hurricane strength there once we get to Thursday night into Friday morning. And then moving up toward the north, becoming a Cat 1. Yesterday, remember, we were telling you that this could become a Category 2 hurricane. Now the Hurricane Center is trending down a little bit, saying those winds may get up to 80 miles an hour during the day, Saturday into Sunday, and then Monday back to 75. Here's Bermuda right there. So we do think that it'll curve away before it gets to Bermuda, and then definitely curving away from the Atlantic coastline too. The spaghetti model plots also pretty much show that consensus of the models that it's going to curve away. There is another system that we've been watching, though, in the southern Gulf here in the Bay of Campeche. We've been watching this ever since it was over in the Western Caribbean. It crossed over the Yucatan, didn't develop, came into here the Bay of Campeche in the southern Gulf, hasn't really developed here yet. And it's about to move inland. So the Hurricane Center is still saying about a 10% chance that it could briefly develop into a tropical depression, but really it's starting to run out of time. It's going to be moving inland, and then it most likely wouldn't develop into anything. So I'm thinking that as of this may be our last update that the Hurricane Center actually gives on this, and then it'll just kind of dissipate over land. So no real concerns about that either. Now, here's the other big news. Not only is that front coming through, that went through, going to cool us off, but it's also going to make us a lot drier and get rid of some of the humidity. The dew points today, the measure of how much moisture we have in the atmosphere, was in the 60s. Now those dew points fall into the 50s, meaning our air is going to be less humid. It's going to be feeling a lot more comfortable out there. A nice, dry, crisp fall weekend here with those cooler temperatures that'll be moving our way as well. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast where we stay cool the next couple of days. Highs near 73 on Thursday, 72 Friday. And look at those morning temperatures on Friday, 54. 54 again Saturday morning and Sunday morning, 56 Monday morning. Afternoon highs, cool, lower 70s Thursday and Friday, then mid 70s Saturday, upper 70s Sunday. We do go back to the lower 80s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And as we've been saying, we need some rain. Tomorrow's rain chance is only at 20%, not looking like many people get a shower at all. And then we enter into another dry period, at least going into the middle of next week. So thank you for tuning in to this extended weather update here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We'll have another update coming up tonight at 11 on 11 Alive News, and then updates throughout the day tomorrow as well. Have a great night.